Hi there folks, Borislav247 here with another Days Gone video, and on this video it is all about the Horde Assault mode on the new remastered version of Days Gone. This folks is my complete Horde Assault trophy guide, and for anybody who is thinking, wait a minute Boris, did you not release this video already? And you'd be right, I most certainly did. But I had to remove it because I made such a huge error with one of the trophies, and this particular error changed everything, by the way, that I simply had to redo this entire video. But do you know what? That's no problem. I wanted to make sure that I had an absolute rock solid Horde Assault trophy guide that was completely factual with all of the information. The previous one simply wasn't, so that's it, had to go. But anyhow, this particular mode, according to Bench Studio, was supposed to take you anything from 7 to 9 hours. But the truth of the matter is that if you do things in a certain way, you can get all of the trophies for Horde Assault in well under 3 hours. And I'm going to show you all exactly how this is done. But before I get to the action, let's start with the trophies themselves. And I'm going to go through them in the order that you are most likely to take them out. Starting off with more freakers, more problems. Defeat an increased size horde in Horde Assault. Now what this simply means is that if you go to any location that has an official horde in the main Days Gone game, you will trigger this horde. Albeit it will be of an increased size to what you would normally face. And all you have to do is to defeat this horde, and then the More Freakers, More Problems trophy will unlock. Now moving on to the next one, Freak Show, very self-explanatory. Survive Horde Assault for 15 minutes. This trophy will unlock after your first 15 minutes in Cascade. Not a difficult one to get your hands on, especially given that Cascade is a very tame affair the first time that you play it. You don't have any hordes of any real problematic sizes. Certainly not in the first 15 minutes, that's for sure. So anyways, moving on to the third trophy, Survivor. And a lot of people might be wondering why the bloody hell that one is the third trophy that I'm showing. Well, it's there for a very good reason, because if you're going about taking out Horde Assault in the way that I'm going to show you, that will be the third trophy that you unlock. Because I'm going to show how to get from level 1 to level 35 in one run at Cascade. It can be done. It can be done, it will be done, and I'll show exactly how it's done. Anyways, moving on to the next trophy, and this is the trophy that destroyed my last video. I'm on top of the world. It has the description as beat the target score for all levels in Horde Assault. Well, this, folks, is a crock of shit. Because if you're actually completing all of the levels for Horde Assault, there's actually 16 in total. You're not required to take out all 16 of these levels. All you have to do to unlock the I'm on top of the world trophy is to take out the first 4 regions. Once. That is it. In fact, this particular trophy will unlock at the same time as the one that is below it. And that is moving on to Sarah's gift. The description tells you, find something important to Deacon that was thought lost. Well, this, of course, is referring to Sarah's custom gas tank that she bought for Deacon. Once you complete all of the 4 regions, which is Cascade, Belknap, Lost Lake, and finally Crater Lake, you will unlock this particular trophy. But not only that, you will actually unlock that particular custom gas tank that can be used in the main Days Gone game, or any of the other modes for that matter, whether it be permadeath, speedrun. You just have to go to any of the vendors that sell bike parts, and you can equip it to your bike. You don't need any particular trust levels, and you don't need any cash to buy it either. You will just get it gratis free and for nothing. So now that I've explained all of the trophies, let's get started on how we go about dismantling Horde Assault. Right then, I'm on the main page. Everyone at this point will be thinking, right, let's just dive into Horde Assault. You don't want to be doing this. What I recommend that everybody does is to first go into challenges and look to take on at least one of the Days Gone challenges, because there's two that I actually recommend that you get a gold score for, but one of them is more a recommendation, it's not essential. However, the first one that I'm going to go to I consider to be essential. It's Ambush Camp Rush. A gold score on this, you need to get 25,000 points, and when you do, you will get a fantastic patch perk, which is extra bullet penetration. The second challenge is Outride. If you get a gold score on this one, you will get a whopping 40% extra durability out of all melee weapons, but that one is simply not essential. What I am going to do though is I'm going to show exactly how to take out Ambush Camp Rush in the easiest way possible. Even though you don't have any rings that you can use when you first start the challenges, it doesn't matter. You're not going to need them. When you see how this is done, it's well worth taking on. Right then, in order to get the Ambush Camp Rush completed to a gold standard in the easiest way possible, you're looking to take out two of the sub-challenges to a gold standard. And the first one is all to do with residue bolts. You want to get 13 kills from the Marauders while they're under the influence of these residue bolts. And the second sub-challenge is simply making sure that none of the Marauders alert the camp to your presence. If you get those two taken care of, you will get a gold score on this, or at least there's one final stage that you have to do in order to cement that gold score, but I will show that at the end of the run. Right now, that particular Marauder that I just hit there before has to be hit on the thigh. He's armoured pretty much head to toe, but the thigh area is exposed and it's the weakest part, so just make sure for that very first shot that's where you're aiming. Aim anywhere else, it's not going to stick, you're going to alert the camp, and that will be it. You'll need to restart the run. But I'm looking to get my hands on some nest residue. That is the first lot that you can pick up. There is another nest residue area that you can get that's also outside the camp. But the final one, and I will show it later on, is inside the camp. And this is one of the few that I am just looking to take out with a Molotov. He's a sniper, you don't want him in the picture, and that's the easiest way. I actually take the time to take out a couple of the Marauders using explosive or incendiary items. Always make sure that the sniper is taken out, and I'm always looking to place a mine in a particular spot. But right now, I'm just looking for easy targets that I can get under the influence. There is only one other Marauder that I am looking for, especially in order to do maximum damage, because there is another Marauder at the top end of the camp that is heavily armoured on top. And yeah, here is the second location of the nest residue. You want as much of that as possible, but I will point out this particular enemy when I see him. Right now, this is hugely important. When you get to 14 kills remaining for the ambush camp, a flamethrower guy will come out of that bunker. You don't want to take the risk of having this guy going around the place, because he is not the easiest to take out if you're looking to get him under the influence with a residue bolt. Don't get me wrong, you can take him out with a grenade, but you are putting yourself at risk of alerting the camp if you do that. Why take the risk? That one mine there will simply ensure you will never see that flamethrower guy. And yeah, as you can see, you get a surprising amount of leeway in terms of working outside the camp. And by the way, for anybody who is worried about the clock that you can see there, This method does not require any sort of speed at all. So the fact that you're not time dependent on this particular method will make it so much easier for anyone. So right now I'm looking for, and there he is, that's the man I'm wanting, and it's got to be, again, it's got to be a low shot. You can actually get away with the bottom leg section for that guy as well. Bottom leg section or the thigh area. You just have to make sure that you're not hitting them on the top half in any way, shape or form. But I'm just stopping now because I'm just going to watch the action here, because look at this guy once you get him under the influence. This guy he does a lot of damage. He clears out most, if not all, of the marauders in the top section normally every time. And yeah, he's done such a good job, he's actually coming over this way, possibly looking for me. That's fine. I'm actually going to work my way around the other side of the camp now, even though it's going to take a little while here because you're trudging through some deep water in order to get over there. Unless this guy actually bloody moves. No. He's persistent, if nothing else. And it's annoying now because I know he's not heading to the other side of the camp, so he's done a good job at the top end, but I'm going to have to get a few more residue kills at the other end. Because once I get the kills remaining to 7 or less, that is when I look to change the crossbow and then pick up the BFG. But I do also require a suppressor for the BFG, because otherwise, yeah, the first shot that you fire that's anywhere near more than one marauder, and the camp will be alerted straight away. But already some good news here. I've got one of the sub-challenges completed that I badly needed done. That is the Berserk one. You can see up there, 13 of 13. So I am now looking to take out 24 of the 25 marauders in this camp in order to get the Camp Ghost sub-challenge completed. And once I get to that stage, that should get me extremely close to the score that I need. But right now, this is actually quite handy. That's another one under the influence, and it's always a good idea to get any of the marauders under the influence that are carrying melee weapons, because obviously they're a bit more silent when they start attacking and whatnot, so you usually have more of a chance of taking out more marauders with them. And yep, that is a mistake there, but you know what, I've got away with it. The one thing that I can't stress enough is that once any marauder is under the influence of a residue bolt, and you know, because that blue sign appears above their head, at any point, if they happen to see you and they're under the influence, they will never alert the camp to your presence. And by the way, that is the third location for the nest residue, which I'm hoping I won't even need to use. And you know what? I actually won't, because there's only 8 remaining. That one guy there that's under the influence of the nest residue, he will die, because eventually the nest residue will kill the marauder that is under the influence of this. So yeah, I'm looking to take out the other. In fact, I think he actually got caught in a trap down there. I was wondering why he wasn't moving about too much. Well, he or she. So I'm looking to get my hands now on the suppressor, and it's over in this hut right over here. And most people will have noticed that I'm not touching any other items in terms of picking up things. There's a very good reason for this. This is my failsafe for getting a gold score on this particular challenge. Because at very near the end of the run, I am going to start to work up the multiplier, which will get me a few thousand points, and that will get me over the required score that I need. So I'm looking to head down to the bottom end of the camp via this side. It's just a little bit quicker and it's a lot safer as well. The other side of the camp, if you're heading down, has quite a number of bear traps. So I always look to leave one marauder in the area where the sniper normally resides in this camp. And it's never normally a problem because they generally, once the fighting has stopped down here after the residue bolt fights, you'll find at least one of the marauders will head back up into this section. And I'm looking to see, there's two of them. So one of those is going to be left, the other will be taken out. And you know what? There we go. That one there's getting it. So all I have to do now is to concentrate on the last two that are on the bottom level. There we go. Nice. Now, the gold score required is 25,000, and although I've taken no damage, so I would get a 2,500 point bonus, but that still would be just shy of the 25,000 points required. So this is my failsafe coming up right now. I am now going to start to pick up all the items that I have been leaving up until now, and I'm just going to run up the multiplier because there is a huge amount of items that you can pick up in order to get this done. And because this particular challenge doesn't expect you to be picking up all these items exceptionally quickly, you do find that the multiplier, once it starts, actually stays for quite a while. Don't be thinking that, oh my god, I've got to absolutely go like the wind in order to maintain this multiplier. You really don't. I'm just using the survival vision here from time to time just to highlight any areas that I might have missed. Because as well as all the items, you can also loot all of the dead marauders as well. And as you can see now, I could realistically just head over to the other side now, take out the last marauder with the sniper rifle, and I would get the gold score. But I'm going to continue this run here just to show where all of the, or at least most of the items, whereabouts they all are that you can pick up. There's a great number of items over here as well. Yep, don't forget about the grenades and mines there. And of course, any of the marauders. I think I have most of the items over in this section. So, another marauder right there. Yep.
Won't be needing this.
That's an added bonus. A Molotov just lying about there. And as well as this, if you happen to hit any of the noise traps over at this side right now, you have nothing to worry about because there is no marauder around to here. So I'm just trying to collect as many items over in this section as possible. Yep, there is more items in this area over here because I didn't pick up everything. Not only that, I'm just going to stop here. This side of the inventory wheel, any items there that you craft will also add to your multiplier and give you more score. That is a good one to remember. And there we go. I have actually hit the 25,000 point mark right now. So there we go. The gold score is assured. But I'm just going to continue showing where a few more of the items are that you can pick up, just for anyone that may be in a position where they required a few more points than what I needed. Now I'm actually starting to get fairly close to the Marauder's position. And of course, I've been playing it for that long now here that it's now daytime. So I'm obviously a lot easier to see, but it doesn't matter. Yep, there's more items there. And obviously, yeah, more Marauders to loot. And you can keep this going for quite some time. You can get the multiplier to over 100 when doing this.
I thought I saw someone out there.
Again, heading over here. Yep, flamethrower guy. Look at him. And there's some more items over here. And heading up here, there is going to be some more items as well. But I'm just about finished with this particular run here because there's not really that much more to show now. So let's put an end to this last Marauder. And as you can see there, all of a sudden I boosted that score up to over 28,000. And there we go. That is the easiest way in which to complete the ambush camp rush. And this will get you that fantastic extra bullet penetration that will be so badly needed when you're completing the first region of Horde Assault. Right then, if you are not too bad at the bike challenges on the Days Gone challenges, I definitely recommend that you take on Outride. This is what you're going to get. Melee weapon durability is increased, and if you get a gold score on Outride, that is a whopping 40%. It makes a hell of a difference. But, as I mentioned before, it's not essential. You don't have to go for this. I'm simply going to show this run for anybody who is thinking about wanting to get this advantage as well. A couple of rings that I can purchase, albeit I can't get them to level 2 in terms of what they do, so they're only going to give me a minor advantage. But yeah, one of them increases nitrous when you're in the air, and the other simply repairs damage when you're doing drifting. So here we go. The main things that I like to focus on here is making sure that I definitely get 33 seconds worth of airtime, as well as this, ideally 25 seconds of drifting as well, but that's not essential. You do, however, want a reasonably quick run, because you get a fantastic time bonus at the very end of this challenge. Now, in normal runs, I would be looking to take out some of the freakers with gunfire, but it's not essential. And not only that, at this stage here, because I haven't played Hogwild, I don't have the 60% better, better accuracy stat when shooting from the bike, which you get from that particular challenge. So the shooting would be pretty bad anyways, but I'm really not that bothered. It's more about just making sure that that multiplier stays active throughout the entire run. There is another sub-challenge called Sick Line, and that is the entire premise of that particular sub-challenge. You have to keep the multiplier going for 120 seconds in order to get the gold for the Sick Line. And by doing the run in the way that I'm doing here, normally you're guaranteed you will get it. As long as you make sure that you're always doing jumps. If you're not doing jumps, i.e. a section like this coming up where there's a long area where you don't have any jumps, just make sure that you're drifting. And that will ensure that the Sick Line will continue to count along nicely. Now, the one thing I've actually got to watch here, I have been so quick that I have to make sure that the Sick Line actually reaches 120, but there we go, it has right now. The gold score is 110,000 for this particular challenge, and as you can see here, I should have got this, no problem at all. Yeah, there we go, 125,000. Didn't even get the 25 seconds on the drifting time, but you know what, that's okay. Job done. Right, so now that they are taken care of, just going to show exactly what I've unlocked. As you can see there, bullets penetrate through more enemies, that's +3 penetration increase. That one is huge, and I do consider that one essential. As well as this, the one that is definitely optional is Outride, but I have now got +40% melee durability. That will be handy to have. Right then, moving on to Horde Assault. Once you select the Horde Assault option from the main menu, this is the first thing that you will see. There are 4 regions that you have to work your way through. The first is Cascade, and as you can see there, the target score for Cascade is 400,000 points. Sounds like a big score to get, but given that you get 1,000 points for every freaker kill, you're really not that long in getting to that target score at all. But anyhow, moving on from this, going on to Belknap, you see the target score increases a touch, 500,000 required. After you have taken up that target score, you then move on to Lost Lake. Target score 750,000 points. And finally, you move on to the most treacherous region of these 4, which is Crater Lake. And the target score required is 800,000. But trust me when I say, folks, that after you've completed Cascade in the way that I show how to do it, you will have unlocked everything that is possible to collect in terms of injectors and characters for that matter, because there's 6 that are locked down there. And completing the final 3 regions, which is Belknap, Lost Lake and Crater Lake, with the right injectors, you will be able to complete in easily well under 15 minutes. It will be that quick. But you have to get Cascade out of the way first, and this one takes a lot longer, but for good reason. So let's get to it. Right then, here we go. And the first thing that will shock most people when they see the score requirements at the top of the screen is 26 million. That is not a mistake. I'll explain a little bit more about that later. The first thing I'm doing is just a little bit of common sense when it comes to taking out hordes, especially smaller ones like this. I'm simply getting myself in an area where they cannot flank me in a big way. I've got protection from the bridge here, and it makes taking out the first wave of small hordes here very easy. There is 3 in total, and although there's quite a number of items that you can collect here, you don't even need to worry too much about these, believe it or not. The biggest priority that you should be concentrating on throughout collecting items here is, believe it or not, scrap. Because the scrap is going to prove invaluable. Not only can you create smoke bombs with it, which are a huge lifeline in terms of keeping yourself out of danger during the exploration phases, which I will talk about more later on. But you want to be full on scrap for when you finally get to the endless horde stage. Now, this won't happen for a while yet. You've got 30 minutes of playtime to get through before that unlocks. And truth be told, I'm only looking to do about 20 minutes worth of killing in that first 30. And again, you'll see how this all plays out. But right now, I'm looking to try and get as much scrap as possible. And so far, this is quite good. So that is the second of the 3 hordes that I'm looking to almost take out. I say almost because this is the 3rd wave coming right now, and I want to leave one of them intact. There we go. So I just want to get a little bit of distance here. This will do nicely. I'm just going to wait until this freaker just gets to the top there. Now I'm running. Now, a couple of things that I want to get my hands on very early here. The 2 cars on the left there, after you see those particular 2, start veering over to the left, because right up here there is some berries. Those will allow you to create stamina cocktails. You may not require the use of them, but it's better to have them. The next thing that you want to be doing, heading over here, there is a machete. Fantastic weapon, especially as you have a well kitted out character for Horde Assault. Now, these are not essential here, I'm just picking them up for the hell of it. But again, I'm looking to get this freaker over here I do not want to kill this freaker. I'm just, again, trying to get some distance so I can get back to the bike in safety. So now that I'm back, I'm going to bring up the map. Right then, on screen you can see a number of triangles marked on the map. These are supply boxes, and I normally try to make sure that I go to one of the nearest ones. That is normally right there. Now, if that particular supply box is not available, I will actually look to go to one that will be in the logging area over there. But after this, I will be heading up to where the Death Train Horde reside. And from there, I'm going to be there for, well, 20 of the first 30 minutes. So that's where I'm going to set the marker on the map for. But right now, I want to make my way up to this supply box. And these supply boxes are locked by your score. You have to get past a certain score every time in order to be able to access them. And each one of these supply boxes will have a weapon. They will normally also have the choice of one or two other options, and these vary throughout the regions. But as you can see here, the weapon choice is pretty piss poor. You've got ammunition that you can take there, or medkits. And because I already have an SMP9, yeah, that weapon choice simply wasn't good enough for me. I am looking throughout the course of the first half hour to get as many good weapons as possible. And if this goes, if this run goes anything like my previous runs on Cascade, I don't normally have an incredible amount of luck on them. I normally struggle to get good weapons, but however, now I'm looking to make my way over to the Death Train Horde. Now, once you get far enough away from the freaker, you will eventually trigger an exploration phase that will come up. There we go, that's it. Once you say explore, you will get a counter on the top right of the screen, or a timer I should say, that will count down. And during this time, you won't see any hordes unless you actually go past an official horde area, but you can potentially get all sorts of other problems. But I'm about to take care of the very first trophy. And by basically getting to this particular area, because it is the home of the Death Train Horde, you're going to get an increased size of horde here for the Death Train Horde. And once you take this one out, the first trophy will pop. Now thankfully, the Death Train Horde normally is 50 strong. Now this one is going to be a tad more than that, but certainly not too much of a problem here. And as I mentioned before, because you have a well upgraded character for Horde Assault, you really shouldn't be struggling too much. The only thing I will say is that if you don't have the extra bullet penetration from the ambush camp rush, your life will be made a whole lot more difficult. But as I mentioned at the beginning, you really want to take care of that one first, because I did show how to complete that particular challenge in the easiest way possible. But the reason why I stay in this particular area for so long is that there is a fantastic number of areas where you can really get this horde into very narrow areas where you can pick them off nice and easily. And this one here being the best of the bunch. So now I have the protection of the carriages and of course the bridge. A double whammy for any hordes that are running at you. So now all I need to do is to safely take them out, and this will eventually get me the very first of the 5 trophies that I'm looking to unlock. And there we go, that is the first trophy taken care of. So now I'm into the exploration phase again. I'm always looking to get ammunition when I can, and of course I'm looking to get scrap, which I can't stress enough is still the most important thing. You can carry a maximum of 20 scrap, but of course if you're crafting any items during the first 20 minutes, yeah, you may lose some of your scrap in doing so. the likes of attractors. They require scrap. But right now, I'm just looking to get... Yep, there we go. That's me now maxed out. And while this particular exploration phase is going on, always be on the lookout for potential marauders and militia, because they carry weapons. And if you happen to get one of the militia that is armoured from head to toe, they are always carrying MG45s. So during the exploration phases, always take the time to be listening out for any potential gunfire, because when this particular militia guy is using an MG45, you know it. It's a very distinctive sound. It's heavy gunfire that you're hearing. But right now, I'm looking to try and open the next supply box that is around here. There's usually only 2 areas that you'll get them in here. Sometimes they are in both, but on this occasion, the only supply box available is actually inside the Nero site here. So it's just the same as with the main game. You've got to take the time to actually get the generator filled with petrol, gas, whatever the hell you want to call it. And then, of course, you will have the the sounders going off here, the speakers. I will take the time to take out these speakers just for the sake of everybody not having to hear this, because I'm going to be here for at least another frickin' 10 to 12 minutes. So anyhow, that's 2 of the 3 taken out, but I'm going to have to make a move here because I've got more company. And I'm not worried at this stage that I've still only got the SMP9 to use, because it's a fantastic weapon to use against this lot. It's the fastest loading weapon that you can get in Days Gone, and there's plenty of ammunition around here. And sod's law, I've taken a hit there, but that's okay. I'm just going to take advantage of that explosive there. That'll take down some of the numbers, and I'll get a few more hits in on them as well. Now, I do contemplate trying to go over the bridge area there, but that's just not safe, so... and neither's that way, but... again, if I can craft another one here, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of this. Now, can't stress this enough. After I get past the 20-minute mark, I will be doing something a bit different, where all of a sudden I'm not going to have that much action at all, and I am going to be looking to get as many decent weapons as I can. But right now, it's all about just making sure that I get the second of 5 trophies. And I'm trying to hit that barrel there and not having a great deal of success at it, but that's okay. So from here, I'm going to lead them over the bridge again. I've got all of the horde behind me here, and truth be told, there's not that many of them left. Again, just going headhunting here. You tend to get more kills that way. I wouldn't recommend it all the time, but when you've got them lined up like this so well, it's worth doing. So here we go again. Exploration time, we've got another minute and a half. And I've actually got some company. Unfortunately, not the type of company that I'm looking for. I really haven't been that lucky yet in terms of anything. Do you know what? Let's just take care of that last bloody speaker, and then I'll see what I can get from the next supply box. Because my score now is at 223,000, I should be able to comfortably open up the next 2 to 3 supply boxes that I come across. But by the time I'll leave this area, I'll be able to open at least 5. Should I require them. So yeah, I'm going the long-winded way around of getting to this box, and would you add a mini event? No way. Again, a little stubby. Absolutely fucking useless to me. The score boost is next to nothing, so I will take the pipe bombs. They will actually come in handy. But I could badly do with another weapon. Either a decent primary or a decent special. So again, just looking over here, there is scrap available. And I don't have that much longer to wait now before I get the next horde heading over. Just checking to see what is in here. I'll take them just for the hell of it. Potentially some items that I can use to craft some more attractors. Should I wish to use them. They're not essential. Right, okay. now at least I know where this horde is coming from. And that big tanker there, that will take out 50 of their numbers every time. As long as they are well congregated around that vehicle. And I'm going to make sure that they are. Now, this vehicle here is quite handy because there's only one way that they can actually get up to you. And it's via the front of the vehicle. So, take your time. They will overrun your position eventually, but you can get quite a number of kills while they're scrambling trying to get to you. And of course, again, I've just set them up so nicely. This is why I choose to stick to this area. Just so many advantages. And I'm also getting close to the magical 15-minute mark. And when I get to that, that will unlock the second of the 5 trophies. So, I see another explosive over there. And God, I didn't realise they were all that far behind me there, but that's okay. Damn, that was a rather unfortunate time to have to reload there, but again, I can head over here. I'm making sure that I'm not going to get flanked from my left here, because they're all going to run over at me this way. I'm not sure where the other ones are, but never mind. There we go. Right. The next exploration phase. Again, I can see that I'm not fully stocked on scrap because I've got 18. I can potentially hold 20. So I'm going to take care of that right now. And the reason why I want all this scrap is that eventually, when the ultimate horde is activated, which is essentially an endless horde, I will be able to repair my melee weapon when it takes damage. And that will sound a bit strange given that I'm going to be facing an endless horde, but trust me, all will be revealed a little bit later on. So I've got the scrap taken care of, and I am very close to unlocking the second of the 5 trophies that I need to get from this particular mode. So just see if there's any more ammo that I can get my hands on. And there we go. That is the second trophy done and dusted. And what the hell? I can hear gunfire. Yeah, prolonged gunfire. That is the sound of an MG45. Holly fucking Luya. Finally something going my way. Okay, I'm going to get over here. I want to see the location of where this fight is taking place, because I'm very aware now as well that yep, there we go, that is the next horde en route. In fact, yep, they've spawned right over there. Okay, grand, that is where all the fights taking place. And yep, I've seen the militia guy that I'm looking to get the weapon off. By the time I take out this horde and I can get back over there, that should be a fantastic MG45 for me to get my hands on. But right now, I've got this horde to take care of. And yeah, might as well take advantage of that there. That will take out a few of them. Again, as I mentioned before, you have some fantastic run routes here that you can use. And one of my favourites here, just get them all lined up. The hordes are increasing in size, as you can see every time, but still not a big deal. Yep, more ammo there, so I'll take advantage of that. You do have the option, of course, that if you have enough items, and at the moment I'm loaded with napalm molotovs as well. I could use them, I'm not going to bother. But you do have this option of using them if you choose. I'm now just looking to get another spot where I can set off an attractor and just wait for them to congregate around it. Not only that, but it gives your character a bit of a rest as well. Holy shit, again, I've got that far ahead that they're taking their time and getting over. Right, I'm just going to loop around them right here. Now, I've been very fortunate so far that I haven't had to use a stamina cocktail, but I do have them at my disposal if I do need to use any. It's always better to be safe than sorry. But now I know that I've got the Horde again, all behind me, heading up to this bridge, and just using it for its best purpose. And the bodies are piling up here, but it's still all good. If you're struggling to see where they are, you do have the use of survival vision, by the way. When I mentioned before about the fact that you have pretty much a fully upgraded character, you pretty much get all the perks that you would from a character that has all the skills when you're playing the main Days Gone game. So even the likes of the Executioner skill, you can take out the worst of the enemies like Breakers and Reachers if they don't see you. Or more to the point, if you're using a smoke bomb and while they're choking on the bloody things, when they've got their back to you, you can take them out quite easily. But right now, I've got another area where I can protect myself from very well. Now, I'm purposefully leaving that one because I've seen what the time is now. I'm getting close to 20 minutes, and that is usually around the time that I choose to leave this particular area. But before I go anywhere, I want to get my hands on that MG45. I knew they were all fighting up in this area. So come on, where is it? Yeah, I can see all the X's on the floor. There we go. Merry Christmas. And I might as well just, oh, that's handy, some extra ammunition for the MG45 as well. Okay, I've got that freaker on my tail here. There's only one other that I actually need to loot. And that is it. Now, I'm going to take the time to get back to my bike, and then I'm looking to try and unlock a few more supply boxes. And of course I'm using the mini-map as a guide here, because your bike is always showing, so you'll never have a problem getting back to it. Now, I don't need to do this looting here, this is just overkill, but okay, that's something I didn't account for, but never mind. I think that freaker is, yeah, I was about to say, I think that freaker is far enough behind me for me to get away. Now, once I've got a bit of distance, now I'll stop. This is where I'm going to check out the map and then choose the supply boxes that I'm going to try and take care of. Now, I try to avoid any of the areas now that have official hordes. So that particular box there I'm definitely going to go to. That one I will go to, and that one I will go to. And yep, I'll set a target for that one. And we are off. The next lot of fighting that I intend on doing now is going to be once the... I keep on say the Endless Horde, but it's known as the Ultimate Horde. So, as long as you keep at least one of these freakers alive, you will not activate the exploration phase at all at this point. And you can just keep going. What you will find is, though, that, yeah, that one freaker that you've left, he will respawn every time you're a reasonable distance away from them. But it's only the one that you've got to contend with. So as long as you're making sure that you're parking your bike a reasonable distance from the supply box that you're looking to try and get something out of, then it's all good. You can get back to the bike safely every time. But do leave a little bit of a gap so that you have the luxury of doing this. And here is the next one. How is your luck, Boris? Okay, do you know what? It is an SMP9, but it is a better version of the SMP9. So that wasn't a complete disaster. Will definitely help me, but I could ideally do with a decent primary weapon. If I even managed to get a better special weapon, i.e. an MG55, that would be fantastic. But a primary here really is the main goal now, because I've got a decent sidearm and I have got a decent primary. So looking over here, yeah, that one over there is looking a safe bet. Now I know there was two just to the west of my position there, but there is an official horde that resides over there, and you will trigger them if you head over to those boxes. Why give yourself the hassle and grief? Now it's quite simply a case of killing a bit of time and heading over to these supply boxes. Another thing as well that is perfectly possible to get from these supply boxes is a better melee weapon.
Jesus.
And yes, I'm making a pig's ear of this part here, but it's all good. Copeland's camp is shut for business. You cannot go through it at all, so you have to make sure that you're working around it. But I'm on the right area here now, and that will do nicely for parking the bike. And again, it's just looking to try and get my hands on something decent here. Absolute worst case scenario, I am still well enough prepared right now because I have a decent sidearm and I have a decent special weapon. And the cowboy, unfortunately, is just not going to cut it. So I'll take the frag grenades. Better than nothing. Definitely will take the ammunition here. That is a bonus, because the ammo boxes are really good. They pretty much just about fully restock your weapons. So again, just heading back to the bike, and all I can say is my luck has to change here. Honestly, I've had times when I haven't been recording and I pick up some fantastic weapons. Like the first box that I open is like a Chicago chopper. But no, not on this run. Okay. That one will probably be my next target, and there is also that one down there. So we'll head for this one. And given the time that it is, by the time I get the next two boxes taken care of, it should be pretty close to 30 minutes. And then I have a very specific spot that I'm looking to have the bike parked at. But again, it's just negotiating Cascade here. The one thing that I do actually have to start to be quite wary of is the fact that I am starting to run out of fuel for the bike. But thankfully, the last two supply boxes are not that far away. And yet, I'm onto the yellow there right now, but most people will actually panic when they see yellow appear on the fuel tank. But you've actually still got 20% worth of fuel for the bike, so Don't stress too much when it first goes on to yellow. That is the rule here. So right now, here we go. You're fucking shit. Right, okay. Let's see if there is any fuel about here. I don't think there is. I'm trying to rack my brains as to where the fuel cans normally are, but right, okay. This freaker here, just wait until he goes for that slap, and then quick dive roll, and that gives me plenty of time. That's always a good way to give yourself a bit of distance if need be. And because I still have 4 minutes on the clock before it reaches the magical 30 minutes, I am going to take the time to try and get a little bit more fuel. Now, although it wasn't 100% necessary to get my hands on one of these, I just thought it prudent so that I'm definitely not going to run out of any fuel. Why take the risk at this stage in the game, especially after investing 30 minutes of your time virtually in doing this. So again, I'm just waiting for this thing to get as close to me as possible. Now I'm running. Even if I don't get this tank fully fueled, it doesn't matter. Even half a tank will suffice. I've only got one more destination that I'm going to, and then I'm looking to trigger the ultimate horde. So yeah, for a good job. I'm quite a distance away from the bike, but it helps my cause here. Okay, I've seen the red appear on the minimap, so I know that freaker is a little bit closer than I'd like him to be. And now I just need to get that marked on the map. Because truth be told, that particular supply box is not that far away from where I intend on making my last stand, where I'm basically going to get the rest of my score from, and all 26 million of it. So I will get that freaker respawning again. Yeah, there I can see it red on the minimap. And what I'm actually going to do here is I'm actually going to park the bike up where I intend to start it from when I activate the ultimate horde. That's right up here. Now, I will show on the map exactly where I am in just a second. I'm actually just trying to get my bearings here. It's this pathway right here. There we go. That is it right there. Take a good look, folks, because that is very important. And that area right there, it's actually a Nero crash site, is where I'm going to be making my last stand. There is so many advantages here, it is freaking insane. But I will explain more once the ultimate horde is activated. Right now, I can abandon the bike now because it is in position, and I will, for the very last time, see if I can get a better weapon. And given how my luck has been going so far, I'm pretty sure I know what's coming, but here we go. And as you can see now, I've passed the 30-minute mark, and as I mentioned before, I have not got the ultimate horde on my case yet. And it's all because of that one freaker. So that one freaker really has made things rather easy for me. Yeah, that bloody figures. That special weapon is no use to me at all. So, okay. I will be perfectly honest, if I had not picked up that MG45, if I had had a run normally as bad as this, I would have been restarting it. No way I would have attempted to go on for the next 2 hours with just an SMP9. It can be done, but it's not going to do you any favours. It will take you a little while longer. when you get certain things that you have to do. Because there's one thing that I haven't mentioned yet, because it's not really been important yet, but it becomes absolutely critical once you get to the next stage of this process. And now, this freaker is finally going to get it. There we go, the ultimate horde is activated. I need to make sure that I'm ready to rock and roll here. I'm just waiting for a bit of red to show on the map. That's it, I know they are on their way. Now I'm looking to make this jump. Just get the bike stopped. And just take a look at over here. You've got ammunition over here, which you probably won't need. There is more scrap, and there is medkits. But where all the action is going to take place for the rest of this run is right here, folks. And once you're up here, all of a sudden your side missions become your ultimate goal for the rest of this particular run. Now, when Horde Assault was first released, these were the 5 options that you would always face in order to complete a side job on this region. Kill 5 swarmers using melee weapons. That is the most time consuming one. You would have 10 swarmers killed using Molotovs. That doesn't matter if it's normal Molotovs or Napalm Molotovs. The third side job is 15 swarmers killed using headshots. Never a problem with your weapons that you have, as long as you have a decent special. Thankfully I have an MG45, but even the SMP-9 would get the job done here. The fourth side job that you could potentially get given is 25 swarmers killed using any weapon. You can do whatever you like here. And the final one, now this was the problematic one, open a supply box. You don't have the luxury of a supply box up here, so if you ever happen to encounter this, you could potentially get problems with this particular method. But here's the thing, folks. Ben Studio decided to make a change in regards to the side jobs that would be available once the Ultimate Horde had been activated. And they deemed that given that you were being chased by an endless horde, they thought it would be a tad unfair for you to have to open a supply box. So when the endless horde is activated, that particular job no longer applies. All you're left with is these 4 that can all be taken care of from this position. And every time you complete one of the side jobs, this is what you get every single time. Any ammunition that you've used from any of your guns gets completely restocked. You also get enough supplies every time to craft 6 Napalm Molotovs or 6 normal Molotovs, but you're obviously going to restock on the Napalm Molotovs because you get far more kills from them. And as well as this, any damage that you have taken is restored health-wise. So really, you can stay up here indefinitely. So, now that you know all 4 of the side jobs that are going to be required when you're up here, I am going to take the time to show each one of these and show the best strategy for going about taking them out every single time. Now, the 5 melee kills is the one that people will be most interested in, but with the other 3, if you go about doing them in a certain way, you can maximize your score killing time while you're up here. And that is never a bad thing given how long you're going to be up here for. So, I'm going to start with the 5 melee kills that are required. And by the way, I just had to leave this in here before I go on to that. I actually got hit by a freaker there from behind. One had actually managed to get up over here, so you are not 100% safe, but what I always recommend is just keep your distance from the very edge of the cliff face here. As long as you have that sort of a gap that what I'm showing there, you will be absolutely fine. But do make sure to do a dive roll back whenever you do get attacked like that. Right then, starting with the most problematic one. Whenever you get this, kill 5 swarmers using a melee weapon, this is how you do it. From this spot, just go to this corner. Once you have a decent amount of them piled up, just start walking over towards the crashed helicopter. When you turn back, 9 times out of 10, you will have at least one of the freakers or swarmers, whatever you want to call them, following you. And all you have to do from here, it's rinse and repeat. But do be aware of this, every time you move away from that particular cliff edge, yeah, the horde is going to start running away from it. So you have to wait every time until there is a decent amount when you come back before walking away again. Now we got one the first time. Oh, a little bit more fortuitous this time. Another 2, so that's 3 of the 5 required. Truth be told, whenever you get this, you're going to start cursing, because this is one that really does stop the momentum of building up that score quickly. But it's a necessary evil. You're guaranteed that once you get these 5 kills, that you will get the side job completed and you get all the loot that goes with it. So there we go, that is that taken care of. And yeah, just make sure to repair your melee weapon as well. By the way, when that melee weapon eventually goes, you still have the knife to use as a melee weapon. Right then, the second of the 4 side jobs that you can possibly get is kill 25 swarmers using any weapon. Now, you don't really need any sort of special strategies for this one. It doesn't matter what you throw at them, you're going to get the job done pretty damn quickly here. So that one, a very nice and easy affair to take care of indeed. Right then, moving on to the third side job. If you happen to get this one can really keep your scoring going for quite some time. It is 15 headshots that are required. As soon as you see that come up on screen, stop firing with your gun. What you want to be doing now is, any of your napalm molotovs that you still have, use them all. Just keep going, because you're keeping your scoring going at a very high rate. It's only once you have used up all of your napalm molotovs that you go to firing with your weapon in order to get the headshots. Because as soon as you do that, you're guaranteed that you're going to get enough supplies to create another 6 napalm molotovs. This is just one of the ways that you can maximize your scoring potential when you're up here, because really after you get a few instances where you have to take out 5 swarmers through melee weapon kills, yeah, you'll be a very happy person indeed when you see these ones come up. Now then, on this particular part of the run, it just so happens that I still have quite a number of supplies here. So I've managed to craft another 4 napalm molotovs, and you know what, I'm going to bloody well use them here. Again, it just keeps the scoring going, and this is the quickest way to get that score up. The napalm molotovs are doing a minimum of 45 to 60 swarmer kills every single time. I occasionally call this lot the freakers as well, but yeah, every time it's coming up on screen, it's calling them swarmers. So yeah, just going to keep this going. It really does move the score along nicely, and it's only after I've got these taken care of with the napalms, now I go to the bullets in order to complete the side job. And that's that one, job done. Right then, the last of the 4 side jobs that you can possibly get is to kill 10 swarmers using molotovs. And you can probably guess what the tactic is here. As soon as you see this come up on screen, do not throw a molotov. What you want to be doing now is to empty all of your weapons that you've got of ammunition. Again, this just keeps the scoring going at a good pace. You're not going to score quite as quickly as what you would with the napalm molotovs, but yeah, it's just getting things going. If you're lucky enough to have something like an MG55 and maybe possibly even have a Chicago chopper and whatnot, you're going to go at a lot faster rate than what I am here. But the MG45 still does a good job. Yes, the SMP9 is not fantastic, but it will still get a reasonable amount of kills. All I tend to do though is when I'm using the SMP9 is, yeah, I spray around the group, but I try and stick to the top sections as much as I can. just to ensure the kills. You don't quite have the bullet penetration with the SMP9 as what you do with the MG45. So right now I am quite literally just going right through them all. Once I've done that, and only once I've exhausted all my ammunition, now I'm throwing down that Molotov. There we go, side job completed, and all of a sudden, look at all the bullets that I get. I can completely restock my guns. Now, if you happen to be using 3, if you have a primary as well, which I unfortunately don't, sometimes it won't completely fill up your ammo for all 3, but it will be very close to it. If you only have 2 weapons, you're guaranteed every time it's going to fill them up to the max, so be aware of that. Right then folks, now that I've fully explained what needs to be done here, I am going to pass on 1 or 2 more pieces of advice before letting the final 2 million required in order to get to the 26 million here play out. Now, something that I haven't mentioned at this point up until now, but in between the time that you've completed the side job and you're waiting for the next one, you have the perfect amount of time to throw 5 to 6 napalm Molotovs. But do bear this in mind. Throughout the course of the run, always try and make sure that you have 1 napalm Molotov spare every time. Never throw everything that you've got unless you are looking to guarantee to complete a side job, which will replenish your stock. That's the only time I recommend that you get rid of every napalm Molotov that you've got. Normally when you're waiting with the side missions, as long as you have 1 napalm Molotov left, you will be fine should you get a side job that requires you to take out so many using Molotovs. Right then folks, this run is just about done here. I'm very close to reaching the 26 million mark, which is what's required to get you from level 1 to level 35 in order to get that 3rd trophy unlocked. Depending on how good of weapons that you have, you may do it a lot quicker than what I have. I was exceptionally unlucky with what I had to work with, but I think it's around about 2.5 hours that it takes me to get the job done here. But yeah, very close to getting this done now. And of course, once I do hit the 26 million, there we go. I'm just going to drop off because my work is done. So once you eventually succumb to your death, you will get a report of just how you've got on here. And as you can see, survival time just over 2.5 hours. And I can't stress this enough, if I had had some better weapons, that would have been a damn sight quicker. But here is all the proof that you need that it is going to take the full 26 million in order to get from level 1 to level 35. And you can see it going up, albeit very slowly, on the top right of the screen there. So I'm going to let this play out in normal time just to show I'm not cheating or anything, and I will rejoin this once it actually hits level 35. Okay folks, just about there, and as you can see now I've just about run out of XP, but it is just enough to get to level 35, and there we go, that is the third trophy unlocked. Now, as well as this, I'm going to show every single item that you unlock when you get to level 35. It is every single injector, and it is every single character. So again, I'm just going to let this play out to show everyone this is what you will get. Right then, now that Cascade has been completed, and in devastating fashion too, it's time to move on to the last 3 regions. Because all you have to do to get the last 2 trophies is to complete each one of these last 3 regions. That is it. You don't have to worry about moving up the rep levels. You just have to focus on getting these final target scores. 500,000 for Belknap, 750,000 for Lost Lake, and 800,000 for Crater Lake. But these are going to be reduced, because now I need to set up the character that I'm going to be using for each of these regions. Doesn't matter really what character you're going to be using, I'm just going to make sure to use one of the new characters. As you can see, these are all 6 that have now been unlocked, and I am going to go with Lisa. Pretty fitting given that she is from the Belknap region. Now, moving on to the most important part of the setup for the next 3 regions. This is the injector combination that you want to have. I am going to start with a positive injector, and it's going to be exploding freakers. Now, as you can see, it's going to reduce your final score by 15%. But this is going to be hugely outweighed by the 2 negative injectors that I'm going to bring into play. The first is Wanted. That adds a whopping 40% to your final score. But I'm not finished there, because I want another negative injector in place. And it is this one right here. Freakers deal increased damage. By adding this 30% to the final score, what you are effectively doing is giving yourself a 55% bonus to whatever you score in each region. And this will make the job so easy. So without any further ado, let's get to Belknap. Right, Belknap, here we come. The first thing you need to know is don't let any of the freakers to get too close to you, because it is effectively a grenade that's going to go off in front of you if they are too close. But at the same time, your gun is now a devastating weapon. That is already the first of the 3 waves that you will get at the start of every region. And in this case, for Belknap, you're looking to engage the first 2 very quickly. That is the second wave there, taken care of already. And the last wave is going to appear from that rock section right over there. So I'm just running up here nice and quickly, just to get a premium line of sight in order to take them out here. And I do want to make sure that I take out every single freaker here. That's pretty important, because if I don't, I will not be able to activate the next horde that I'm looking to get to. So from here, this is the game plan. So from my current position, and I will move the map a little bit closer here just to show everybody, I am going to be moving all the way over to this section here, passing the Pat Jen's Lake Horde, moving across a section of the water there very quickly with a bike, and then from that parking spot there, I'm going to take out that horde. After this, I'm very quickly going to move up to this top section, where I will eventually engage with the Hot Springs horde that resides up here. That is it. That will get the job done. Now, didn't mention too much about this before, but although the target score that the game sets for this is 500,000, you'll see I've got on the top of the screen there, 340,000 is all that's required. Now, although it's 55% extra that you get, I work it out roughly from 50%, so for anyone who's arguing with the math, that's where it's sort of coming from. But that score of 340k will guarantee you the target score. But look at this. Because the water is slowing them down so much, they're sitting ducks. That's it. I've already taken out that horde. I've got the exploration phase that's come up, but I'm not hanging about for it. I'm just looking to get to the very top section here, and then I'm going to engage this next horde. There are so many advantages with taking out these regions in this way. You don't have to worry too much about ammunition, because you hardly need to use any. Your every bullet is a deadly weapon when you're taking on the hordes this way. Now, normally I would park the bike at the other side of the bridge, but do you know what? I'm just being bloody lazy here, because this job is just about done already. In fact, it is done right now. They can get as close as they like now. I could not care less. In fact, the actual proper target score that it's set anyways, I've already surpassed. And there you go, folks. When you have the right injectors to use, you can take out these regions in record times. No 2 hours and 31 minutes for this particular region. Yep, 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And of course, I will get confirmation here that I have unlocked Lost Lake. So, let's get to the third region. Right then, that is Belknap taken care of. The third one, of course, which is Lost Lake. The target score is telling me here 750,000 points. However, with the injectors multipliers in play, all I am going to require is 500,000 points. And for this particular region, I'm going to choose Copeland as my character of choice. Right then, here we go. Now, for this particular horde at the very start, do not even consider trying to fire a bullet at them, because they get on top of you way too quickly. Make sure you've got some distance between yourself and the first wave, and then take them out in the usual fashion. You're looking to see 11,000 in terms of points here for the first wave, and although not necessary, there is a medkit right there. You won't require it, but I'm just picking it up for the hell of it. And ammo especially, it's worth having. It's only an extra 40 bullets, but given that I have the Exploding Freakers injector in play here, my god, 40 bullets is a lot. So, moving on to the second wave. And for this particular region, by the way, folks, you do not have to take out all of the freakers from all 3 waves. I'm going to take out the first 2 waves, but on the third wave that comes up, I am going to try and leave 1 freaker. This is to delay the exploration phase. So that's 2 down there. The next lot should be also coming from my left. So I'm at the ready here. Yeah, I can see one that's gone over to the right hand side. That's the one I ideally want to keep. Yep, there's 2 of them left. So at this point, I'm just trying to make sure that I get a bit of space wait for that freaker to actually hit us, but do you know what? It doesn't matter. That's probably about the only damage that I'm going to take. Right now, looking to get back over to the bike, and of course, I'm just going to bring up the map because here is the game plan. And it's going to be an exceptionally quick game plan. From here, I'm looking to make my way over to the old sawmill. In fact, I'm going to put a marker on the map exactly where I want to be parking the bike. And en route, yep, if there is a box at that particular place there on the map, yeah, I like to use it because you've always got the chance of getting a better weapon. However, if that isn't available, because they do appear randomly in certain areas, then I wouldn't be worried too much about it because the weapon that I've got is already decent. But if I can get something better, then happy days. So the exploration phase hasn't started yet, which is what makes this so easy to do. And do you know what? I'll take the little stubby purely because it's a bit of extra protection should I get any issues with runners. Because I am very soon going to get far enough away from that one freaker that I left that the exploration phase is going to kick in. And that's the most dangerous part actually of this entire run here. So there we go. 1 minute and 20 seconds, but trust me, I will have activated the next horde before that runs out. And even if I did actually encounter any runners, and that's the only thing that's going to give you any major grief when you're on the bike, I probably would not be looking to stop and maybe use some vehicle as a bit of protection. Right now, just heading down here. Here we go, I want off the bike quickly. And this one is all about location in order to take out this horde in the easiest way possible, because look at this. The sawmill horde is about to get decimated. I am at very little risk. I have the high ground here. And with these being exploding freakers, look at this. I've just about taken care of this already. There we go. It's done. So, I'm going to head over here now and quite literally commit harakiri. Thank you very much. So there we go. That is the third region taken care of. Oh, and it's taken me a whopping 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Yes, this is not going to take long until I get the final 2 trophies that I require. Again, I'm just going to let this play out here to show what my final score is going to be, because of course I've got a whopping bonus to add on to this. And the XP goes on, and of course confirmation that I've unlocked Crater Lake. Right then, my journey to get the 5 trophies for Horde Assault is just about finished. But there is one region standing in my way, and it is Crater Lake. 800,000 is the target score that it's telling you you require, but you only require 550,000 in order to get the job done. So I'm going to pick a character that obviously is very famous with the South, so just have to go with Weaver here. Now, for this last region, the first small 3 waves of hordes here, you have to take them all out. If you do not, you will not be able to activate the much larger horde which comes just after this lot, so do be aware of that. It's a strange one, but it varies from region to region as to what will activate and what will not. I'm just making sure that everybody knows what needs to be done in order to get the job done. And right now I'm looking for them coming from, they could potentially come from either way, but it's generally from over on the right hand side for the second wave. And that's it, the red bar's disappeared. So the last one, yep, they're true to form. Generally they come from the left for the last wave. Just using the focus mode, always handy to have for these ones especially. You just want a little bit of precision. Now, I am going to take out that last freaker there, but I want to get near the bike, because I know once I've taken out that last one, I'm going to activate the exploration phase, and it's dangerous in Crater Lake. But right now, for the last time, here is the game plan. From here, I'm looking to move over to the west of my position, and it's down to this petrol station right down here. And just across the road from it, there is a yellow school bus. That is going to be my point of attack. Certainly for the start of this horde. You can't stay up there indefinitely unless your shooting is absolutely spot on. But there is a fantastic way to take out the rest of them once you do need to leave that yellow bus. And as you can see, now the exploration phase is bloody dangerous. That was some cougars there, and I'm not hanging about for them. Thankfully, you can pretty much outrun anything with the exception of the runners. You get them on your case, and it does make things a tad more problematic. But you very rarely get them on this particular stage of Horde Assault. But there we go, because I had it marked on the map, being able to get to it nice and easy. And of course I want the high ground here because they're coming from that riverway there, so I'm going to do some major damage very quickly. Because they're coming at you in very large numbers. Look at this, already I've got well over half the required score. Obviously, once they start to get a little bit too close, don't be a hero, move, and just take out the last ones in safety. And there we go, that is my cue to move because I'm having to reload. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to lead them a merry dance down this road here. Two things here, it actually helps you a tad when they're trying to flank you. But the biggest advantage with this one especially is that it's quite well lit up, so you can see where the hell they're coming from. But I'm using survival vision here, but look at that. That's it, folks. It's done. It's done. All the work that I did in Cascade was all just to make sure that these last three regions can be taken out like that. Look at that. That's not even 3 minutes it's taken me to get the job done there. And the last thing that has to be done here is the final modifier added to the score, of course. And once that is done, the final 2 trophies will be unlocked. That is it, folks. That is Horde Assault taken care of in well under 3 hours. If I had had better weapons to use at Cascade, I would have done the Cascade phase a damn sight quicker. But however, once you've completed all 4 regions, you will get this screen appearing telling you that you've unlocked Reputation phase. And that all the regions are now relocked, and you have to go through them all again in order to, well, unlock them. They will have higher target levels, but you don't have to. If you want to play them again for fun, that's fine, but if you're only looking to get the trophies, your work is done here. And the icing on the cake to doing all this is the fact that you have unlocked this fantastic item. It's Sarah's fuel tank. Now, it holds the maximum amount of fuel that you can possibly get from any fuel tank in the main Days Gone game. It can be used on any of the modes, whether it be speedrun, permadeath, or a normal playthrough. It costs you no money. The first vendor that you go to that sells bike parts will have this in their stall, so you can install it, and you don't require any specific trust level. Right then, folks, not quite finished with this video yet, because as always, if you want to make life just a little bit easier for yourself in any of these regions, there are some very nice easy kill locations that you can use in order to get the job done. So before I finish this video, I'm going to show one location from Cascade, because let's be honest, the location that I show on the very first run in this video pretty much qualifies as a second, given how good it is. For Belknap, I will show another 2 locations that you can use as easy kill ones. For Lost Lake, I will also show 2 easy kill locations. And finally, for Crater Lake, I am going to show 3 very nice easy kill locations indeed, for anyone who wants to use them. Right then, I've just got the one easy kill location that I want to show for Cascade. It's a very easy one to use, very reliable, and very easy to find. It's just to the north of the hydro dam, and it is that rock right there. By the way, a note for PC users that are wanting to use these climb locations with a bike, make sure to press the caps lock button first, because apparently that disengages the clutch and it allows you to climb up these rocks. You don't need to use acceleration to get up these rocks, you can quite simply climb up them with the bike. Now, on this demonstration of this area, I actually have the exploding freakers injector in play, but I honestly do not recommend you using it if you're using this easy kill location. And if you do, fire from there, because anywhere else on this rock and you'll blast yourself off it. But this is a very good area to know about. Right then, on to the first of two fantastic easy kill locations in Belknap. Now, I can't stress this strongly enough, this particular easy kill location you can't use if you have the exploding freakers injector in play. The location of this is just to the north of the hot springs camp, and one of the biggest advantages with this particular easy kill location is you don't even require the bike to get onto it. This location is that good that you just have to walk down to get to it. Wait till you see this. You just need to hug the rock line here. When you get to this corner, just take it pretty slowly, but you won't fall off. Just keep close to the rock and just get onto that rock section right there. Once you're here, you are golden. Now, another thing, I do not recommend that you use grenades or pipe bombs from this location either, because there is a risk that you can be blown off this rock area. But any Molotovs or Napalm Molotovs that you've got are good, and of course normal standard gunfire is perfect. You get a fantastic line of sight as they're coming down to you here, and they congregate so nicely below you that they are just begging to be hit with a few Napalm Molotovs, which I am going to duly oblige here. Yeah, this one really is good. I very nearly made a standalone video on this one because it is that good. But not only in Horde Assault could you use this, you could use this in the main Days Gone game. Although there is not a horde that is particularly close to this one. The Patchens Lake horde is close-ish, but I'm not sure if they would come this far over. But anyways, on to the next easy kill location. Right, the second one in Belknap is located at a greenhouse at the back of Marion Forks. And I have shown a standalone video on this one because it is that good. Not only is this location extremely safe, but like the previous easy kill location, it's exceptionally easy to get onto. In fact, it's the easiest of the lot. It is quite literally just 2 climbs with your character. And as you can see, that's where it's located on the map. So all I have to do now is wait for the next horde to appear, and yeah, I'm not going to have long to wait here. Once it gets near the time here, it's just through this gap in the fence line. Here is the greenhouse, and just take a look at this. Climb number 1, climb number 2, and that's it. Now, not only is this an amazingly safe area in terms of the horde simply can't get to you here, but you can actually shoot through the greenhouse here itself. It's definitely not glass that's on the top of this thing, and God knows what material it's made of because it doesn't break. But just take a look at this. It's really cool. You can kill them even when they're in the greenhouse, but the roof does not cave in. Right, the first of the 2 easy kill locations that I'm going to show in Lost Lake are both located pretty near the old sawmill. The first one is actually the Nero crash site that is just to the east of the old sawmill, and it is right over there. Now, the only disadvantage with this one is that you have got to wait until the horde is actually spawned and coming towards you before making the jump here. if you go to the easy kill location first, they will not actually spawn when you're up here. So very similar to the one in Cascade that I showed at the beginning of the video, but once you're up here, you are untouchable. They can't get near you, even though they're doing some pretty weird movements here. They've clearly seen some animals or some other enemies, and they're going berserk trying to get to them. But as you can see, when you're up here, you've got full control of the Horde. And another YouTuber very famously showed this easy kill location as being that good, and that's Gregos Gamers, for anyone who's interested in watching his content. Right, this second easy kill location is very close to the old sawmill. In fact, it is just to the east of the old sawmill. And this is a good one to know about because you can use this in the main Days Gone game if you want to take out the sawmill horde in the easiest way possible. That's my starting location, but the rock area that I'm heading to is right over there. The only thing that you have to do here is to get the horde's attention, have them follow you, which isn't a tough ask, and then make your way over to the area in question. So I'm just going to wait here. Won't take long until they appear. They're all coming from the pit area. In Horde Assault, that's pretty much where they always come from, that particular direction. And from here, I'm just going to take my sweet time and get into this area. It's fantastic once you're up here. You have full control of the Horde. And you even have a ledge up here that you can park the bike nicely on. So, just an added bonus. I'm going to stay here first of all. This is a fantastic spot if you want to take them out just with gunplay. Because they just line themselves up for you so goddamn well. So, just going to get a few kills there. But you can move this horde around. If you want to nuke the hell out of them with napalm molotovs, you ideally want them right below you. And if you come over to this section of the rock, they will duly oblige. Another advantage of this area is once you have taken care of the horde, it's very easy to get off with the bike. So, but do make sure you come off this area with the bike, otherwise you'll never get back up there. Right then, moving on to Crater Lake, and I have 3 easy kill locations to show here. This is another location that I've shown in a standalone video because it was that good. It is the petrol station that is located to the west of your starting position in Horde Assault. I actually showed in the run where I took out Crater Lake where I put the marker beside the yellow bus. Well, the yellow bus is right beside this petrol station. So, first of all, I need to make sure that the horde is activated before getting onto this location. That's it, now I know they're coming. So, I head up to this section of the roof, but I'm looking to do a slide just to the left of that corner. And if you do that, you will get onto this rooftop right here. And you are untouchable from here. They can't get near you. You can even use the exploding freakers injector when you're up here. You get so much cover. In fact, all of the easy kill locations that I show for Crater Lake, you can use this injector for. So these ones really are fantastic to know about. But just make sure that you've practiced the slide getting onto this roof section before attempting to get the horde over here. Right then, the second easy kill location in Crater Lake is another Nero crash site. And this one is located to the southeast of Wizard Island. And that is where you're looking to get the bike over to. Now, you don't actually have to wait for the horde to appear on this one because you're not at height. I just recommend that you actually wait until you definitely know they're coming. But from here, because you have a fully upgraded bike with nitros in Horde Assault, you can make that bike jump very easily, and from here look at the protection that you have. I strongly recommend you use this particular area if you have the exploding freakers injector in play, because look at how easy it is to wipe them out. Not only that, after you've taken them all out, you can make the bike jump back across again, and you can just go about this with rinse and repeat. Right then, folks, the very last easy kill location I'm going to show in Crater Lake is in the far east of the region. It's right over here, right inside this particular camp, and it is actually a watchtower. Now, in Horde Assault, they've actually blocked the ladders allowing you to get up to most of the towers in this particular mode. But this is one that Ben Studio have clearly forgotten about. In fact, I think it's actually a mistake more to the point. I think there's an obstruction, but I think it's on the wrong side of the ladder. So the Horde's on its way. Yeah, that's exactly what's happened. There is some barrels there, but they're on the other side. So you can get up here, no problem at all. And once you're up here, like with the other two easy kill locations in Crater Lake, you have complete protection. Even when you're using the Exploding Freakers ejector. This one really is so good, because once you've taken them all out from up here, it's very nice and easy to get back down. You can do a bit more roaming about, exploring. Yeah, that's a very nice one to finish off on. But anyways, that is it, folks. That is the Horde Assault guide, well and truly finished. All the trophies in the easiest way possible, and some easy kill locations thrown in. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Take care.